morning, everyone. Good morning, Ronak. Good morning, Himanshu sir. I hope I am audible. If anybody could please confirm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for confirmation. Right. A very good morning to everyone connected with us. Thank you so much for connecting with us in the morning on a weekend. Really appreciate it. We would wait for 5-10 minutes for other participants to also join, people who have registered. So I can see the people are joining. So please stay tuned with us. Very good morning to all who have just joined. Good morning to everybody who are joining and people who have already joined. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. Let everybody just join, people who all have registered. Okay, so I can see Aditya have joined, Havish have joined, Pradeep is here, Ritik is here. All right. Good morning, everyone. Okay. Aisha is there, Aditi is there. Okay. Very good morning to all. People are joining. I hope people who have connected here all are very curious to know about the topic which we're going to discuss over here. So today's webinar, today's agenda to be discussed on is Power BI and data visualization tool. So this topic has really got buzz in the market, and many of you might know about this. Some of you are very new to this particular topic, and some people really want to kickstart their career into this. So we will gonna discuss everything. We will answer all your queries related to this, and this session is going to be very insightful for all of you who have joined today with us. So people who have joined today, I hope you all are aware that we keep doing this every week. So this is the very third webinar which we are conducting. Before this, two webinars have already been done. So I can see a few people who have, constantly joining us from the very first webinar, and some of you are, joining for the very first time. So just informing all of you that we keep doing this every week to create awareness amongst students, working professionals, freshers, because every time people come visit us and they come with queries. So we want to create awareness about everything, what is going on in IT and what is really in demand in buzzing. So today's topic, I am personally very interested into this because this is something, which really eases our work. So even I am excited to know more about this in detail. So today's guest, he is highly experienced. He himself is the subject matter expert, and we really appreciate that he agreed to come on this webinar. So soon you all gonna interact with him, meet him soon. So we will just allow us a few more minutes so that other people can also join, and then shortly we will start. So I can see people are really excited to get to know what Power BI is. I can see number of participants increasing rapidly. So just to understand the crowd, this would really help us to share the information about the topic. So could everybody I hope can see a chat box icon on their heading. Yes. So I want to understand that how many the participants who are connected with us. So are you all students, working professionals, or freshers? If you could tell us, it would really help us. Let's make this webinar very interactive because I want everybody's participation to be equal in this. So there would a pop-up which will come on your screen. So you just have to select. All right, I have started getting responses. Oh, Vaishnavi is a student. Okay, Krishna is a student, Pranali student. I think Ronak आपको student भी add करना चाहिए था. Oh my God, there are many students. Vaibhavi, Tanvi, Khushi. Very good. I think students are more curious to know about Power BI? Okay, I can see Swapnali has raised her hand. So anything, Swapnali, you want to ask, you can put on the chat box, please. I can see not a fresher, but on. Okay, Pooja. All right. Tanvi has also raised her hand. Yes, people who have queries can please, put down your concerns on the chat box so that I can address to that. Prasad is also raising his hand. Yes, Prasad, please tell me how can I help you? Okay, Sakshi is a fresher. Okay, Swapnil. Sorry. Yes, Swapnil. We have Swapnali also in the meeting. Tanvi, regarding the certificates and all, I will address in a while. So stay tuned with us. Once everybody has joined, then I will get you all through the ground rules for this webinar so that it will help us to make this webinar very interactive, insightful, and informative for everybody. Okay, Shashikant, understood. So you were working before and now you want to do something in Power BI. Okay, seeking job under that. Yes, Abhijit, you will definitely get a certificate for this webinar. This is the perks of attending this webinar with us. So this we have been doing from last 3 weeks. So you can, in future also, you people can stay tuned with us, get yourself updated so that you can attend the other future webinars as well. I think, yes, we are good to start. I can see maximum of the people have already joined. Okay, Ashish is asking. My sister who is not part of can also. Absolutely, Ashish. This is open for all people who are connected here with us in the webinar. You can share this link with everybody who are interested for this particular topic, Power BI. It is open for everybody. So whosoever wants to gain information on Power BI can absolutely join this webinar. All right, so I think we are good to start. So again, I would like to welcome everyone for this webinar session. We would like to thank you for taking out time and joining with us. So today's webinar is on Power BI and data visualization tool. So this is the very third week where we are coming up with a webinar session, and last two webinars were very successful, and we are hoping for the same for this particular webinar, and I think everybody who have joined, it would worth your time. So today's webinar would be conducted by Mayank Kumar sir. He is industrial expert with holding 17 years of experience, and he would be addressing today's meet, and he's already there in the meeting with us. So welcome, sir. So I would like to take you through a few ground rules. So as I mentioned that it will really help us to make this session very interactive. And all right, so as you can see everybody on the screen, so here as you can see it's a webinar, right? So we can talk and you can listen, but we want this to be very interactive. So you can see there is a question and answer tab on your screen. So whenever if anybody is having any query, you can put your question or query there through that tab. So the speaker who is addressing the meet would check your queries there and would reply you and would address your specific query and question. Secondly, if we are asking anything, like I am asking you, like we just had an interaction on freshers, students, so you all have put the answer on the chat box. So similarly, if the speaker is asking anything, you can put down your replies and answers through the chat box. Right? I hope this is clear. So anybody who want to ask any question, it should be through question and answer box. And anybody who want to answer for what the speaker is asking for, it to be put on the chat box. Then also this session is getting recorded. So this is for our records and also for you all. Some people might face network issues or something. So we are recording this session so that it can be used for your future references also. Yes, as many people were asking me on the chat box that whether they will get a certification for this or not. Sorry. Definitely. So, a participation certificate for this particular webinar would be given to you, but it would be exclusively for the participants who would attend this webinar throughout, from the start to the end. So, your attendance is also being marked by us. So, there is a team who is marking up that who is attending the session throughout, because we want you to have a very keen knowledge about what the trainer is addressing on, right? So attending the webinar throughout would land you to the participation certificate. And also, as I just mentioned, that your proof of attendance is required. So whosoever would be there throughout the meeting, only those particular participants would get the certificate, right? All right. So many of you are aware about Ethan's Tech. People who are not aware, I would just like to give you a glimpse about Ethan's. So Ethan's Tech is an IT, training software institute wherein they are here in the market from last 11 years. So as I said, this is a practice which we are doing on a daily basis, weekly basis as in. This is the very third webinar where we believe in, sharing the information on what exactly is going in the market. So we try to bring on the topics which are buzzing in the market. We address on them and we really guide students, freshers, and working professionals how it can help you to enhance your career. So you can stay tuned with us for future webinars as well. They are also associated with IIT Guwahati. They have their association with NASCOM. They are also partnered with Wipro. So the certifications which you get through Ethans are all Wipro DICE IT accredited certificates. So for further details, you can kindly connect with us in person as well. So yes, finally, as I mentioned, that today's speaker is Mr. Mayank Kumar. So he himself is a working professional, is experienced under data science, data analytics, ML, AI, BI. He has his expertise in all those things with holding 17 years of experience. And I believe nobody else from the person itself could tell about their experiences and the journey what he had went through. So I would like to hand over the webinar to Mr. Mayank Kumar so that he can, give the detailed information about himself and take this webinar further. So up to you, Mr. Mayank.
Thank you. Just give me a moment. Thank you. Thank you for introducing me. I am not able to turn on my camera, Herline. So yeah. Am I visible, guys?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay. So good morning, everyone, and thank you, Herline, for the beautiful introduction. Quite informative, actually. And by the introduction which you have given, it itself made me much more interesting to give a session on the Power BI, which is basically the highest and the most appropriate visualization tools in the market. So with that, why I am here is that I have been invited by Ethans to speak about Power BI. And why Ethans choose this webinar on Power BI is because if you see the Gartner chart, I'm not sure that how many of you are aware of the Gartner chart. So Gartner is basically an organization which scales different organizations. For example, Power Microsoft, then Click, then Google Looker, right? Then Tableau. They scale these organizations based on the credibility of how it is being used in the market by clients. And you all would be very happy to know that Power BI is leading the Gartner's market analysis now in 2024. So they are actually leading it. Okay. Initially till 2022, it was Click and Tableau, but with a very good marketing strategy of Microsoft and the power of Power BI, because there is a lot of AI, ML integration, Copilot integration with Power BI, which has made this tool so effective. That is the reason it has surpassed the expectations. And most of the organizations are now moving to Power BI as their strategic reporting and visualization tool. And this skill is going to be in demand in the market for another 4-5 years. I do not see a visualization tool in the near future where which can take over Power BI explicitly as a market leader. So Power BI will continue its saga, and I'm very happy that I could see that there are close to 140 people who are there in this meeting. Definitely, the reason of you people joining this meeting is somewhere you wanted, you know that Power BI is an interesting visualization tool. It is not only a visualization tool, we will understand that how Power BI is basically, uh, you know, apart. It's a way apart from a visualization tool where we can extract, transform, load, visualize everything we can do in Power BI. Yeah, it is a very, very capable tool. So with that note, I welcome all of you to this webinar session. But trust me, folks, 90 minutes is quite a very less time to explain what is Power BI. To understand very deep of what Power BI is, and if you would want to be a master in Power BI, then definitely Ethan's is one place where you should be reaching to Ethan's folks, and they would be guiding you that how you can master in Power BI. But this webinar is to give you a flavor of what Power BI can do, right? And make your life so simple that you can create a visualization dashboard in just barely a minute or 5 minutes. That's it, and you are done. I mean, see, there is a saying in Hindi, "Jo dikhta hai, wahi bikta hai," right? So Power BI does that. It makes the visualization so appealing that the dashboard which you will be creating and the insights which you will be giving to the business stakeholders or to the business users, they would be loving it at the extreme. Okay, it is not only because the beautiful charts that would be giving, it's more of the data insights that comes within Power BI and how it would be giving. Okay, so with that, I'll just quickly start to it. And thank you, Ethan's team, for inviting me for this guest lecture. I feel very much privileged to be part of your group, and I'll just quickly start this session. Yeah, so you all are set? Everyone, just give a thumbs up if you all are set. Excellent. Oh, wow. Superb. Lot of thumbs up. Brilliant. Great. Okay. Good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So what we will do is we will first understand that why Power BI is there in the market. Okay. Yeah, Pathan, probably you have got some query. Could you please quickly draft it? Or if you feel that you can just hold on for some time and then I can address most of the queries, up to you. Okay, cool then. I'll wait for some time. And once I give you an option wherein you can have your Q&A, we can take this forward. Okay. So if you can see on the screen, what is today's agenda? Today's agenda is to have an introduction of Power BI. Then we will understand that what are the capabilities of Power BI. All the informations that you see here after the introduction, that is data transformation, advanced analytics, what if analysis, reports and dashboards, are all the capabilities of a Power BI. Okay. Now these are very high level capabilities. Power BI is a lot more to do than what is there within these capabilities. Okay. Usually it takes about 24 to 26 hours of session to have a deep dive understanding of Power BI. It is so vast and it is so interesting. But in this 90 minutes, you will have an understanding of what Power BI is. And I am sure that I will make this interesting so much, this webinar so much interesting that probably today after this session, you will install Power BI, or within the session, you will install Power BI and you will start creating some dashboards of your own. Share some screenshots with Ethan's. I can have a look, and the person who can give the best of the insight, there is an award waiting for you from my side. Yeah. So let's start to it. Now, I will just quickly share my screen. Okay. Before I share my screen, what I would want to say is that I use two screens and the camera is on the left hand side. You will see me turning my head on the right side of the screen because I use the bigger screen to do a demo. Yeah. So I'll just quickly share my screen and please to let me know if you're able to see it.
Yes, sir. The screen is visible.
Great. Thank you very much for confirming. Yeah. Okay. So why Power BI? Okay. You know what is the most powerful tool as a visualization tool in the market, which is there currently, which was there, which is there, and which will be there in the market? The most powerful visualization tool which is there in the market is Excel. Okay. I understand that it sounds a bit weird that why Mr. Mayank is telling that the most powerful tool is Excel, because at the end of the day, all the analytics or all the visualizations that you which you will be creating for your business user finally boils down to have the data set in Excel, and then the analysis happens within the Excel. Okay. So what industry has done is, so what Microsoft brilliantly did is, Excel is a Microsoft's product, right? So what Microsoft did is, Microsoft thought, why not I create a similar kind of visualization tool or a more powerful visualization tool than Excel, which gives me the capability of an Excel, and at the same point of time, I integrate AI, I integrate ML, I integrate Copilot, I integrate all the advanced analytics into it, making it a very powerful and a very robust visualization tool in the market. So, with that, what we understand is the engine of Power BI is the engine of Excel. Okay. So all the engine that runs the Excel also drives the Power BI, right? It's built onto the same platform, but with an advanced analytics. So when I say advanced analytics, Excel has got many restrictions within them itself. For example, one and the most important restriction which Excel has is you cannot exceed your rows more than a million. Probably 10 lakh 48,000 is what is the maximum limit, if I'm remembering correctly. And there is a restrictions of close to around 16,800 or 16,900 columns. That is a maximum restriction that you can have in Excel, because Excel uses the RAM from your system. So that is the reason there is a restriction on the data limitation which is there in Excel. But as you all know, in today's world, it is all about data. So 1 million record is nothing. Trust me, 1 million record is nothing. Once you get into an industry, once you start working, people who are freshers, who are expecting to get a project within their own organization, and you start working into a project, you will see and you will remember me that Mr. Mayank said once that 1 million record is nothing, and trust me, 1 million is nothing. So on an average, for a very low transactional amount of data, the bare minimum size of data is close to 10 to 12 million that you'll be finding, right? And for doing that, what you need is probably 10 to 12 Excel files holding so much amount of records, which is practically impossible to maintain. And the performance of Excel would be very, very degradative. You will not be able to do anything there, right? And hence, Power BI comes into a picture, right? So the look and feel within the Power BI is almost similar to what it is there in Excel, but with many, 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 many more capabilities which it comes through. Okay. So, if you can see on my screen, what does Power BI do is it connect, transform, and load millions of rows of data. Now, when I say connect, it can connect to anything. It can connect to any databases. It can connect to any file. You can connect Power BI to Wikipedia and download and get the information of all the Wikipedia KPIs or the key performance indicators in the form of a tables into Power BI, right? You can connect to any cloud services, be it Azure, be it GCP, be it Snowflake, be it Databricks, be it Azure Databricks combination or GCP Databricks combination, anything that you can think of. can be connected via Power BI, but Excel has got a lot more limitations to it. But Power BI, as I said, it's like A380 of Airbus A380 of the flying industry, which has got a capability of whole lot of metrics into it. Yeah. Next is the transformation. So probably all of you know that there is a concept which is called this ETL, which says extract, transform, and load. So extraction is, for example, Facebook is one application. Now I want to do a sentiment analysis of a particular movie, right? Now Pushpa 2 was the movie which is being released. I want to understand that how Pushpa 2 has been performed based upon the sentiment analysis of the comments which people have given in Facebook or in LinkedIn, right? So in this scenario, if you take this example of Pushpa to Facebook and LinkedIn, so my source is basically LinkedIn or Facebook. I will extract the data from my source, which is a Facebook and LinkedIn. I will do a lot of transformations into it because Facebook and LinkedIn will not give me data in a format which is presentable. If I would want to see the data which says me that for a particular age group between 20 to 30 and between the genders, that is male and female, what are the different kind of sentiment analysis which has come for Pushpa? I want to see a age-wise sentiment analysis. So Facebook and Instagram will not give me this information, right? So what I need to do is they will just give me a flat file. They'll just give me a flat source of information, which will tell that XYZ, this age, this date of birth, this gender, this is what is a sentiment analysis. Now I need to clean this entire data. I need to transform this entire data. And that is called as a transformation. And once I have transformed this data, I will load this entire sort of information in a databases. And that database can be an on-prem database like SQL Server, IBM DB2, Oracle, okay? Or it can be a cloud-based applications like, for example, GCP, BigQuery, or Azure, or Snowflake, right? Or anywhere we can dump the data and we can create an analytical engine on top of that data to do the analysis. And that analytical engine can be created by Power BI. It is so powerful that you can create an entire analytical engine with the help of its data modeling capabilities, not capacity, basically, I'm sorry for that, data modeling capability, and you can do tremendous amount of analysis. Okay, so that is connect, transform, load, and millions of rows of records. Build relational models to blend the data from multiple sources. Facebook is one source, Instagram is another source. What are the other things that we use? I use only these two. Twitter, yeah, Twitter is there. Twitter is there. LinkedIn is there, right? So people can share their sentiment analysis on Twitter. Three different sources. LinkedIn probably no one will share how push button is behaving. But yes, for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I'm taking these are three different sources, which is an heterogeneous sources. I'm taking information from all the three different sources and blending it together into one data platform, which is capable, which will be utilized by Power BI for its analytics. Yeah. Clear? Good. If nothing is being raised up, I'm assuming that you all are understanding up till now and you guys are finding it really good. Yeah. Next is define complex calculations using data analysis expressions which are known as DAX. We will see few DAXs into this webinar. It's really difficult to touch base with all the DAXs, but yes, I will show you some which will be of your interest. And it is so DAX is basically a kind of measure that we create or a key performance indicators. For example, if I would want to see a very layman language, okay, if I would want to see that month on month how Pushpa 2 has behaved, how the sales has come for Pushpa 2, and in which geographical location this movie has performed really well, right? So that is called as creating a calculations, and that can be created with the help of DAX. Okay. Now bring data to life with interactive reports and dashboards. Now, at the end of the day, it is something that until and unless you show something, right, nothing you can sell it. If I do not show you this webinar, you will not understand what is Power BI. Same is the case with every visualization tool. Until and unless you show our data in a meaningful format, Having a data is of no use. Clear? So जो दिखता है वही बिकता है, and that दिखता है part will be done by the last part of Power BI, which is a report visualization tool. Yeah. Next is develop a versatile in-demand skill set. Power BI is the industry leader that we have already spoken. Now this is a self-service BI. It is quite a bit early now to discuss about self-service BI, but yes, before we complete this engagement, I will touch base and I will tell you that what is self-service BI. If I forget by any means, all the attentive students just give me a reminder of it. Okay. And the skills that you build in this course will be highly transferable. When I say transferable, you will know what Power BI is. And if you want to know more about Power BI, we are all there to help you out. And this skill is that skill will be so acquirable that you will be able to transfer your knowledge to someone else. Yeah, we will try to ensure that we scale you up to a level where you can transfer your knowledge to your peers or someone who actually needs it. Okay. Okay. Any questions on this slide? A quick 5-second time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No questions. Okay. We'll quickly move on to the next slide. And that is Excel versus Power BI. Why Excel versus Power BI? Good. Thank you very much for responding. Thank you. Why Excel versus Power BI? See, if you see this graph or this chart, you will see that in Excel we have got spreadsheets, pivots, notations, and cell formulas. And in Power BI, along with these all informations, we also have got report view, we have got custom visuals where you can create your own visuals. There is an interactive dashboard where each and every part of this dashboard is basically connected to each other. And there is a Power BI service where you host the Power BI dashboard, which you have created onto the web server, wherein, for example, if I create a Power BI dashboard and if I host or I put this dashboard into the Power BI services, you sitting anywhere will be able to access that. But there are some asterisks which we will be discussing, some limitations at this point of time that we will discuss later about the Power BI services. But yes, this is the platform which will be used as a shared platform by most of the people within the organization. Okay. Now it's an enterprise level URL, web URL, wherein the desktop development which you will be creating as a Power BI desktop will be hosted into the server, and from server everyone can access this. That is a layman language term. Okay. Now what is common in between? There is a Power Query editor, there is a data model, and there is DAX. Okay. Power Query editor is the most powerful and the most important thing of our Power BI. Why? Because Power BI says you try to handle most of the critical transformations, most of the critical loading of data or any kind of cleansing of data at the back end. Do not bring it to the front end of Power BI, which will make Power BI very heavy and it will not be able to perform at its optimum level to which it is expected to do. So all the transformation, cleaning, and everything needs to be done at the Power Query editor level. Okay. So please remember these terms, because while we progress with this webinar, I will be using these terminologies and you should be able to relate to what I'm telling to. Yeah. So what is in between Excel and Power BI? What is shared? It's Power Query editor, data modeling, and DAX. Okay. Now DAX is basically the formulas which you write on the Excel, but in Power BI you can write much more, complex formulas, and in Power BI it is named as DAX. Okay. Cool. Now let's move on to the third slide, and which is installing Power BI desktop. I am not sure that how many of you have already installed Power BI desktop on your system. If you have not done, the easiest way of doing is in Google, go and search for download Power BI file. Thank you, Pooja. Yeah, you can just go to what to say in the Google. You can type it as Power install Power BI desktop. It will take you to the Power BI page, and from there will be a download option. You can download it into your system. If you are having a 64-bit system, you should be installing the 64-bit installable, and if it is a 32-bit, you should be installing the 32-bit. I'm really grateful and thankful to everyone who have downloaded it, but people who have not downloaded it, please do it. If you can do it now while I'm explaining rest of the things, so you can at least catch up to the practical aspect when I'll be start showing Power BI desktop, and I'll be doing few of the things which will attract your interest. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So next thing is that Power BI generally, thank you everyone who have done it. Generally, Power BI comes with an update every month, most of the months. Okay, if not every month, it is most of the month there will be an update which comes in, and in every update there is something which is an enhanced version of it. Okay, now uh, the Power BI documentation services which is given by Microsoft, it talks about the details of every enhancement which comes on every month package. Now, for example, people who are using Android or Apple, you see that there are installables which is coming in probably every 2-3 months, which has some bug fixes, which has some additional features, right? And similar is the case with Power BI. So they keep on changing their releases, and as on when you download the latest version, you will get the latest version of the installables which is there. Okay, but with this they also give the capability of backdated new reports which has been developed. For example, if you have developed something in the year 2014 and 2024, and if you'd want to see something which is there in 2025, the backward compatibility is also there. Yeah. So this is what about the installing Power BI. Next we will understand, once when you install Power BI, these are the three important concepts. So one is the Power Query editor. We will see this in practical, but to make you understand and to make you relatable, what I have done is that I have just kept 3-4 slides where I will show you the kind of interfaces which is there, so that you can relate to what I'm saying when I'll open Power BI desktop. Okay. So this is a Power Query editor within the Power BI, which basically handles the extract and transformation and loading as well. Primarily extract and transformation, where, for example, if I give you one basic example, that if you have a year, for example, if you have an order year, order date basically, and it says that 1st March 2025, you want to have 3 columns which will tell I want to segregate the year, I want to segregate the month, and I want to segregate the day from this particular date. This is a kind of transformation, right? This transformation, this kind of transformation you can do in the Power Query editor. This is a very simple transformation which I have said, but trust me guys, once you get into the real Power BI course, you will see the capability of these transformations. It's mind-blowing. You can do anything that you can think of. Okay. These things are being done at the Power BI Power Query editor. On the right side of the screen is basically the 4 different views. Okay, now Power BI comes with 4 different primary views. One is a Power Query editor. Then there is a model view where you create the relationships between the different table. Then there is a data view, right, which is basically a standard loading area where you see that how my tables are there, what kind of data types can be changed, what all additional things can be done, can I create an additional measure into my data view. And last is the report view, which is the front end. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. Okay. I have seen it. It's compatible with the Ubuntu also. Yeah. Next is the last one, which is the report view. And in the report view is this what you see, which is basically the front end. Okay. Now, I will tell you one thing. This point is very, very clear, important for all of you to understand. Okay. While you learn Power BI, it is very important that you learn or try to master these three parts, which is Power Query Editor, the model view, and the data view. If you understand these three concepts, I will come to it, Sunny. Just allow me some time. I will come to it. Yeah. Now, Power Query Editor, the model view, and the data view are the most important critical things that you need to clear about. Trust me, the report view is something which is just 10% of Power BI. Report view is the front end where you will be representing the data. But to represent the data appropriately, it is very important that you should cleanse, extract, transform, load the data, and create the relationship appropriately. Okay. Now, I am not sure that how much of you understand what is the kind of schema modeling or data modeling techniques. Power BI highly support star schema or an extended star schema, which is known as snowflake schema. Okay. If you try to exhibit a denormalized table, the performance of Power BI will come down. There is an exception. Power BI says, if you give me star schema, I can perform, I can give my maximum performance. So the data model or the relationship view which you will be creating, I will provide you that as well. Don't worry. There is nothing called fake data. Every data is important. There is a data. I will give you the data. Okay. And you can create your own data as well. Yeah. You do not need to have a fake data or something. In Google, you can anyways go and tell that I need to create a Power BI dashboard. Can I have a data set? So you will see that there is an absolute amount of data set that you get into the market to create Power BI dashboard. Okay. Also, ChatGPT can also help you, or Copilot can also help you. If you go and ask ChatGPT that, can you just can you just give me a data? I want to create a dashboard of XYZ requirement. They will make a data for you. You can use that data and you can create your Power BI dashboard. Okay. Now, this is what is the query editor. This is how it looks. We will deep dive into it. Next is this is how the Power Query editor looks like. So there is a transform tab, there is an add column tab, there is a view tab, there is a tool tab. I will tell you on a high level that what all tabs are when we dig into the Power BI, but this is how the Power Query editor looks like. Now, one key important thing, that's an interview question for all of you. Okay. Please remember and pay attention to it. mQuery is always written on Power Query editor. There are two places where you can write formulas on Power BI. The first place is the Power Query editor, and the calculative formula that you will be writing on Power Query editor is known as mQuery. Anything measure or any KPI calculations that you do on the front end or on the data view, okay, data view or the report view is called as DAX. Anything measure that you write here is known as the mQuery. And this mQuery refers to each and every row of the data. For example, again, if I take today's date, if I would want to find out that what is the month of this particular date, and this impacts to each and every row which is there in this data, right? So you will write an mQuery, or you can write a formula to it, or you can use the inbuilt capability of Power BI to extract that. This mQuery is written at the Power Query editor. Okay. And any DAX will be written either at the front end, report view, or on the data view. Okay. This is how the Power Query editor looks. This is how the model view looks. This is the relationship where while you bring all the tables or all the data within the Power BI, you will have to create a relationship between them, right? Otherwise, how will these tables talk to each other? And this relationship, this place of relationship where you create, it's basically marrying the data between the multiple tables. For example, the first example which I gave, that you need to extract the data from Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Assume that there are three tables: Facebook, one table; LinkedIn, another table; Twitter, another table. All the three tables will come together and the data will get married here, where we create a relationship between LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. And we can we can extract the data or represent the data on my report view from all these three different tables together. Okay, clear? Moving on to the last one, which the second last one, which is the data view. If you can see, this data view is almost similar to what it is there in the Power Query editor, but Power Query editor is more about transformation and loading and extracting. Here it is creating formula onto that existing table so that each and every records for a particular formula can be impacted. So that is a data view. So here is basically, you can see that what is the kind of tables which are there, how my table is looking. If I would want to do some sort of analysis or profiling within my table, I can always do here. Okay. And the last section is basically the front end view. Okay. Where once you bring the data, you will just represent the data. Okay. So this is the place, front end report view is the place where it's an interactive place where if I change something, my things will change, right? And it gives an insight. The business user will look at this front end. All the thing which you will be doing at the back end will not be visible to anyone. Okay. Now to make this front end effective, all the hard work will go at the back end. Okay. So for example, while you were preparing for engineering courses, the studies, the preparations, everything that you do are the back end work. And the result which will come in or what you write is basically the front end. Okay. So this is what Power BI is on a very 32,000 feet high level view. Now I will just quickly give a quick 2 minutes time for you all to raise me any questions up till now, and then we will go directly to the Power BI desktop and we will see some sort of capabilities to it. Okay, a quick 2 minutes, 12:20. You have got time till 12:22. If you have any question, please put it in the Q&A and I will try to address to it. Okay, what is a sentiment analysis? Sentiment analysis is I am telling Pushpa 2 was good. However, there is a lot of violence which is being shown in the movie. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so there's a question from Abhijit, and Abhijit has asked that what is sentiment analysis? So that is a good question. So sentiment analysis is, I'm seeing Pushpa 2. You may have a different sentiment for Pushpa 2. I may have a different sentiment for Pushpa 2. I may feel that Pushpa 2 is a great movie, but there was a lot of violence, and we do not need to encourage kids to show this kind of violence. However, this movie is quite a good movie for an age group who are matured to understand what violence is and to handle violence. Okay, but you, Abhijit, you might have a different view altogether. You might say that no, I do not agree to this statement. What I feel is that it is up to the person who is viewing it how to handle this. If the person is not able to handle the violence within Pushpa 2, you shouldn't come to the movie theater and see Pushpa 2. Okay, so this is a kind of sentiments which you and me differ, and we have to capture this kind of sentiments from Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and do an analysis that how my movie is responding to a particular age group. Okay, next question. One page report is considered good, or there can be multiple pages? It is always good to have multiple pages. One pages report is never ever a good idea. See, a report is all about information, right? And if you try to fit in, this is a question by Ayush, and it's a good question, that the reporting should have multiple pages, or it is good to have one paged dashboard. So it is always wise to have multiple pages dashboard, because the information should flow from left page to the right page. Okay. The first page has to be a summary one, and subsequently there has to be a drill down onto the detailed level and semi-detailed level informations. Yeah. Okay. I do not see any questions as of now from anyone. apart from Ayush and Abhijit. Thank you for asking these questions, and I hope I have answered you. So we are over by a minute's time, and then we will quickly move on now to the Power BI. Sir, can you repeat the interview question? Yes, I can repeat, but just allow me for some time. I will definitely tell you at the end of this course. Don't worry for that. Yeah, cool. Uh, I will just quickly get the Power BI desktop, and what I will do is I will start with a blank report. Okay, so this is how Power BI looks like. Just give me a moment. Let Power BI open a blank report from the scratch. So far, interesting, students, till the time Power BI is opened. Okay. So this is basically, can you see my screen? So this is the Power BI desktop. Just give me a moment, please. I'm now opening Power BI desktop. So once you guys install Power BI, what you can do is that you can quickly follow what I'm doing, right? And once when you click on the Power BI desktop icon, this is what you see in the first step. Okay, so it says that there is a home, there is open. What does this open say is? Open says that if you already have got a Power BI dashboard created, and if you would want to open the dashboard, you can go to that file location and you can open that Power BI dashboard. Now there is an repeat the most important features of Power BI. Yes, I will do it. I will do it. Please keep a draft of these questions. At the end, I will give you 5 to 10 minutes of time to discuss all of this thing. But please make sure that you're drafting this question and keeping somewhere, okay? Now, and I'll definitely add up. I'll definitely add up to the real-time projects and everything, okay? So don't worry on that. So now what this section talks about the kind of data sources that you want to get in. Now at this moment I will take up a blank report, so you can see that you can connect to one lake catalog, Excel, SQL Server, or numerous data sources. But to explain what are the numerous data sources, I have clicked on the blank report, and this is how my Power BI looks like. To get the data, what I need to do is that I need to go to get data, and if I just click on more, you will see these are the areas from which you can get the data. You can get the data from Excel. So these are the basically the connecting points. I mean, any sort of information which is there in any of these areas can be connected to Power BI. So it is Excel, JSON folder. You can see SQL Server. You can see Oracle databases, IBM, PostgreSQL, SAP HANA. Then you can connect to Impala, Google BigQuery. You can connect to Snowflake. You can connect to Vertica. You can connect to Power BI semantic model directly. You can connect to at-scale models. You can connect to warehouse, lake houses. Lake houses again, that is Databricks. It is Azure SQL databases, Azure, right? Insights, Dynamic 365, Azure DevOps, Google Analytics, GitHub, right? Web, Apache Spark, Hadoop Spark, R script, Python script, Amazon. You can connect to anything that you can think of. Okay. So it is really difficult for me to go down to each and every connectors and show you with the because we have got a limitations of timing. But yes, with the detailed class of Power BI within Ethans, most we talk about each of these connectors and we discuss about them. Now at this point of time, I will connect with an Excel workbook. So if you can see on connect. Now this is a sample subset of data which is there currently with me. Okay. So what it is doing is that you can see that it is connecting with the Excel file. Okay. And that, let me open that Excel file and show you once. Just give me a moment. Okay. So this is the Excel file or the data we will take to showcase the capabilities of Power BI. Someone talked about that if I can have a data, yes, this is the kind of data you can get from either from Ethans or you can get it from internet anywhere you want. This is available. Okay. So this data is there now. There are three tables now. These sheets which is there in Excel will be taken as a table in Power BI because Power BI understands only relation data modeling stuff, which is including of table, which is fact and dimensions. Okay. Now this is order table, this is a return table, and this is a user table. Now if I go to Power BI, I will see that these are the three different tables. Okay. Now what I will do is I will load only one table for now, and the rest when I'll be talking about the connectors and joining multiple tables, we can then I'll show you loading different tables altogether. Okay. Now what I will do is that I will load this data into Power BI. You need, while you work with Power BI, one habit that you need to develop is you need to be a bit patient because Power BI is a very heavy tool. And until and unless you have something which is more than 16 GBs of RAM, it is gonna take a bit of time, okay, to load. So now what happened is the data got loaded into Power BI desktop. Now, how do I see that data? I need to click on the transform data and click on transform data. It will take me to a page which is the most important page in Power BI. Okay. And it took me to this page, which you can see it says the Power Query Editor. There was a question by someone that, sir, can you please tell me that what were the key and most important pages within Power BI? And that is Power Query Editor. This is the page. This is the first step where you will be operating most of the data. हम लोग hospital में जाते हैं to operate ourselves, right? Wherein the doctors operate. I mean, for example, if I go for an open heart surgery, they will cut me, they will dissect me, they will put something, blah, 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 blah. Then they will again dissect, they will again stitch, and then I'll be fixed. So all these things happens here. Okay. Now, if you can see, this is the platform where all the rows that you have seen in the Excel. So all these rows that you have seen in the Excel, all these columns, all this data has been pulled into Power BI. Okay. So you have got row ID, priority ID, discount, unit price, shipping cost, customer ID, customer name, okay, customer segment, likewise, all the data. What is the order date? What is the ship date? What is the profit? What is the sales? Everything will come here. Okay. Now, if you can see, if you remember, I have spoken about M-query, right? So applied steps, the right side here talks about properties. What is a property of this table? Now, if I can, I want to rename this table as orders fact. Okay. And if I hit enter, so this table will be renamed to orders fact. Now, naming is very, very important in Power BI because with naming, you will know that what is the representation of this table and what is the intent of this table. If you do not name a table properly, you will not know that what is the intention of this particular table. Clear? So naming is very, very important. You need to remember. Next is you see that there are some applied steps which has come. And first one is the source, which talks about source means what is the location from which I have taken this file, what is the name of the file. So this is what it talks about, the source, that from where this file has come, whether it has come from web, whether it has come from Excel, from my local system, or it has come from a SharePoint, or am I taking a data from a semantic model which is earlier there. Okay. So this source talks about from where this entire data has come. Next is the navigation. So if you talk about navigation, what it says is in Excel, it was a sheet and the name of the sheet was orders. But in Power BI, it has come as a table. Okay. The third one is promoted headers. If you see this, this row ID, order priority, discount, unit price, shipping cost, these headers are being automatically promoted as a header by Power BI. Okay. This is very, very critical thing because once we will be loading one more table, you will see that this promotion Power BI doesn't do and how to do it manually. Now, if you see here, if you right click on this tab here, you will see that something which says use first row as header. Okay. And in this table, you can see there are many things that you can do. You can keep the duplicates, you can keep the errors, you can remove the top rows, you can remove the bottom rows, you can remove alternate rows, you can do any damn thing that you want. Anything that you want to see can be done from here. Okay. I will just start and then I will see the change types. If I just expand this a bit, you will see there is something which says 1, 2, 3, ABC, 1.2, 1.2, 1, 2, 3, ABC. Now, what are these? These are the different types of data types which is there within the Excel, right? So once the data has come up, now if I open this Excel file, there are no data types which is mentioned. For example, customer name is a string data type. So when I say string, customer name, in my name or your name, there cannot be any numeric values which will come in, right? It is only characters. So any characters which are there are all strings. All numeric values are integers, right? Or a whole numbers. And this row ID is also an integer. Now in discount, there cannot be any character which comes in, right? It will always be a numeric. It cannot be a character or a string value coming in. Now, what Power BI does is, the tool is so damn intelligent, it picks up and it aligns the data types appropriately. Okay. Now, at any point of time, if you would want to change this data type, you can right click here and you can change the data type from here. Okay. For example, if I would want to go to, once again, a ship date. So if I want to have a date time, see, this is the date time conversion, which has already been done. What Power BI will do is that from the database, if there is a time which is coming in along with data, it will interpret and it will change accordingly. Okay. Now let's go back and bring it to date. So it is returned back to its original state. So this tool is so capable and so powerful that it identifies that what are the data types of a particular field and it appropriately assign the data type. Now, why data type is so damn important? Because if there are two tables and if you would want to join one table with a different table with the help of a date, okay, in one table you have got date and in the other table there is a date time data type. While you join these, the join will not happen correctly and you will not be able to extract any sort of information appropriately. So matching the data types for a particular and assigning the right data type for a particular column or a particular value within a table is very important. Please do not rely. Now, this is an important note, bonus note for all of you. Please do not rely always on the data types which is there for which is given by Power BI. By mistake, Power BI is also a machine. It is not a human. It is an application. It might take up a wrong data type. So it is very important that you scroll through the entire data and you check that what is the data type which is being assigned, and if it is correct, if it is as it is, or if you see that it is not correct, change the data type appropriately. Okay. Now, this is the change type. So whatever you will do here, whatever exercises you will do in this transformation will be keep coming or adding up to these applied steps. Now let's do few applied steps quickly to show you. If I would want to basically show that what is the discount which I want to give a 10% discount on my sales value. Okay. So what will I do? I will go to the sales. Okay. I will add a column. Okay. Now I will duplicate this column. Okay. And I will rename this column as, for example, tax. I want to give a tax. Now, how do I know it that what is this tax? So I need to select this. I need to go to standard. I will multiply by 10%. If I want what is a tax which is getting applied on a particular sales, if it is a 10% of say a tax which is getting applied, I will multiply it by 0.1, right? So I know that 10% is 0.1. So this is the value which has come in. Now this value, I will name it as tax implied. Okay. And I can remove this column. So from this sales value, for example, 5.9, the tax that is getting implicated is 0.59. Okay. So this thing is clear, right? Now, at the same point of time, if I would want to do a kind of transformation where, let's do one thing. Customer name is there. I want to bifurcate this customer name into two names, which is the first name and what is the last name. Okay. Now, how do I do it? I'll go to transform tab. I'll select the customer name, and there is something which says split column. Now, there are different options by which you can split a column. Okay. Now here you can see I have got a space delimiter between the two names. Now there can be possibility that the delimiter is a comma. There can be a possibility that the delimiter is a hyphen. So you'll have to select the appropriate delimiter. For example, if I select my delimiter here and I'm saying it to be space. Now if I click here, these are the different delimiters, and there is a custom option also available by which you can specify that what is the delimiter that you want to apply. Now for me, it is basically space, right? And I want the split to happen from the left side. That means the first split which will happen, or the first space which will come in, will basically segregate my first and the second name. Now if I click on OK, see, it has given me two columns. One is the first name and the other one is the second name. Now let me rename this. I will say first name and I will say last name. Okay. So you have now seen that I had a column and I have bifurcated that column into the first name and last name. Okay. Now you remember we have seen till here, which is a change type, which Power BI has already done it. But with the activities that we have done, you can see that all these activities are being done and it is being recorded here. Whatever you are doing, see, I have renamed the column from sales copy to tax. Then I have inserted a multiplication. See, a table add column, multiplication, each tax by 0.01. So these are all called as enquiry. Now this I have done with the help of the tool. Now there can be situations where you will have to write your own enquiry, where the tool doesn't support. You'll have to write your own enquiry and a bit of complex enquiries. So this is how you will have to add an enquiry. Okay. Now next, what activity I did is I did a rename column. I have renamed from multiplication to tax implied. Then I have removed the tax column. Then I did a split. Customer name, I have split it into customer name 1 and customer name 2. The data type has been changed. See, automatically Power BI has thought that yes, now customer type is a text data type. So it has changed the column data type to text data type. And then I have renamed the column customer name 1 to first name and then customer name 2 to last name. So these are the activities which I have done and Power BI has recorded. Now at any point of time, if you feel that any step that you did was not correct, you can always go and cancel this. Okay. See, now what has happened, I have cancelled the rename step and it has come customer name 1 and customer name 2. I do not want to have this change type. Okay. Now even I do not want a split column. See, my customer name has come, which was earlier it was there. So Power BI gives me the flexibility to roll back to the information if you feel that I have done something wrong. Okay. Is this clear? Are you guys finding interesting? Can I deserve a thumbs up or a thumbs down? A quick thumbs up or a thumbs down? Good. Okay. Ayush, we will come to your question. Ayush, yeah. Thank you. We'll come to your question. Good. Good. Thank you very much for responding. Thank you. Now, so this is, and there are many options. For example, I'll touch base a bit more. Now, if you can see, there is a ship date. Okay. Now, if I go to add column and there is a date field here. Okay. Now there is a difference between these two. There is a difference between the add column. There is a difference between the transformation. Now, what transformation will do in Power Query? This is again an interview question. Please note it down. Okay. Very important thing. What transformation will do is, if you select any column and if you would want to do a transformation, it will not create an additional column. It will transform the existing column and overwrite the existing data. For example, if I take shipping date, I go to transform, right? And in the date function, I say I want only the year. If you can see, my ship date column, which was earlier there, it is gone. It is gone. You cannot do anything. It has given me only the year from the ship date. But what if you feel that, Mayank, I would need my existing column to be there, and at the same point of time, I would need these additional columns also to come in. That is the place where this add column comes into picture. Okay, we will remove this step and we will see that how add columns bring in value addition. Now I'll select a ship date. I'll go to add column, and from date, here I bring year. See, year has come. Ship date is as it is there. Now again, in ship date, I go and I say I want my month. See, month has come. From this date, my month has come. Interesting, right? Now I go to ship date. Again, from date, I say which day it is. So you will get here. This is the day. Okay. Now, ship date. If I go to date, these many things you can do. You can find out the age between 2 days. You can find out the date only. You can find year, what is the start of the year, what is the end of the year, month, start of month, end of month. All these informations are predefined within Power BI. You need to select and you can build your own calendar. Okay. Now, for example, if you say that, Mayank, I want to make my own calendar, what you can do is you can have only the dates basically for last 2 years or 3 years. You can have a date. Otherwise, I'll come back. Please, guys, just one request. Whatever question you have, please note it down. I will address to all of these questions in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So all of this info, you can create your own calendar. For example, if you would want to create a calendar for last 3 years, you can have the dates here inbuilt. I mean, you can have your own date in the Excel. You can create the date for the entire 3 years, load that value into your Power BI, and in the Power Query editor, you can have what is the year, what is the start of the quarter, end of the quarter, which quarter it is, which month it is, which day it is, whether it's the start of the day, which is the end of the day. Every damn thing that you see here, you can build. So the entire calendar for you is built. Okay. So this is very, very powerful, guys. Please be very careful about creating calendars of your own, so that the reason why I say that you should be careful creating calendars of your own, because business might follow different calendars with respect to different financial years, right? And a dashboard can be driven by any date. Basically, a dashboard always is driven by a date. Now, if I would want to see my entire dashboard based upon the order date, you as a different business user might come back and tell me that I want to see this entire dashboard based upon the shipping date. So your shipping date should be joined with the calendar date which you have created, and then you should be creating the entire dashboard. Clear? Good. Okay. Great. Now, so these are some of the capabilities. If you come to view, you can see that what is a column profile. Now see, if I do a column profiling based upon the entire data set, so this is a column profiling I have enabled, and I have shown what we can see is that out of this particular table, there are no empty records, there are no error within the records. These many distinct values are there, these many unique values are there. Okay. These many count of records are there. There are 9,426 records. Out of that, there are only 42 records are there, which are unique. And there are 1,400 how to handle null values. Yes, you can always handle null value. For example, at any point of time, if you see zero, if you see any null value here, if you load the data, and for example, if you see here, if there is a null value, you can just exclude the null value here and you can change it if you want to exclude it. Or else, if you would want to update null value with any values, for example, NA or any sort of, for example, if you want to update null as a 0, you can also do that in the transform tab. Okay. Now, what I was saying, I was talking about the column profiling. Okay. Now, if I go to view, I can see the column distribution. Yeah. Yeah. So these many records are there. These many 0 records are there. This is the max. This is the min. Now column profiling will always be done based upon the column that you are selecting. Now I have selected discounts. In this, there is errors are 0. There are empty records are 0. There are 16 distinct records, 16 distinct records. This many count. Now how column profiling helps you is, you will understand. Now there is a governance tool. For example, if you are learning metadata information tool like Colibra or something, right? So which talks about that in my metadata, this is the level of information which is present, and metadata information saving is very, very important. So profiling, distribution, column quality is a kind of metadata information. Now, for example, order priority, if I go to this and if I say what is the quality of the column, okay. Now see, you will see that there are 100% valid columns are there. You will not find any error or any empty. At this point of time, while doing a column profiling, if you see that there are errors, there are empty, there are null values, you can handle it here itself. Okay, clear? More informations about what are the different ways of handling a null value, please join Ethan's. We will teach you in details. Okay. Now, add column, good. I am just removing the profiling. Okay. Now this is on a nutshell. Now, if I come to the tools section, the tools is diagnostic option, step-by-step diagnostics. That's all. There's a help option where you can, where there's a community, there is a documentation, which is involved. Power BI gives about a documentation directly, and you should be able to read the documentation and solve if you have got any kind of problems. Okay. So this is in a nutshell about the Power Query editor. Now we will move on to the next section, which is a data model. Close and apply. Okay. Now, if you see, this is the data view here. If I come here, so this is the table which is currently there. Now, at this point of time, here, if I wanted to do any kind of analysis, for example, I want to see only the data which is there for critical. I'll filter out all the data here for critical. Now, business tells you that you load the data, but you need to create 2 dashboards, wherein one dashboard will tell me where the order priority is critical, show me those, and create a different dashboard where the order priority is high or low, right? So you can filter the data set from this data view, create the kind of data set that is required for your dashboard development, and formalize it. Now, there are certain things where you can create a measures here, right? Now, if I go to home, there is a new measure. Okay. Okay. Is equals to year of order date. So what I did is I have created a new column. Okay. And I'm telling that there is an order date in my table. I want to find out what is the year for the order date. And I want to rename this column as order year. Okay. This is the area where you check it. And if you can see, there is an order year which has been created. Now, there are 2 things which I've showed you. One, from the query editor, there is a predefined function. You have remembered that once you have selected on the date, from the shipping date, we could have extracted the year. But here what happens in the real world scenario is, and in the industry level, how it happens is, there will be two set of teams. Okay, please listen to it very carefully. There will be two set of teams. One set of team will create the data model, which is the data model here in this section, and will work on the query editor. Especially once when you're a fresher or new to the Power BI entering into an organization, your senior will not give you access to this report view, to this model view, or the Power Query editor. They will keep a control on that, because that is the heart of this entire development. Any changes or any mistake that will happen on those two windows will impact your entire dashboard. So that is the reason they might not give you access to the query editor and your model view. What you will have access is the table view, which is this data view, and the front end where you will be creating a dashboard, right? Now, if you do not have access to the query editor, and you feel that at any point of time you want to add up the measures, you want to create up measures, so this is the place, the way I have done, you should be creating it. Okay, and you can see, once I have created this new measure, this new value has been created under the order fact. And in the report, while you'll be creating the report, you can use this value within the report to show it. Okay, so that is the use of this table view or the data view which is there. So that means what I'm trying to say is that if your access is restricted at the data modeling part or at the extract and transformation, which is the query editor part, Power BI has also given you the power to do certain things within the table view or the data view, as well as on the front end. Okay, clear? Just give me a moment. Okay, so now probably we have got another 35 minutes left. Yeah, Praveen, I'll come to your question. Just give me some more time. I will just quickly walk you through some of the front-end tools and activities, and then we can discuss about it. Yeah. So this is what is the data view. Then we will come on to the model view. Okay. Very important and very critical, guys. Please pay attention to it. Okay. Now, this is the fact table which we have loaded. Now, what I feel is that, imagine this data has come from Facebook, and I will get one more data, same Excel workbook. Okay. If I go here, now I want to incorporate the users table. Okay. So I am loading the data. Please pay attention to this section. Okay. Very critical, very important. Okay. Now you can see the user table is loaded. What is this user table? This is the user table. It has got region and manager, and within a particular region, who all are the managers, this data is there. Okay. Now I have loaded into Power BI. You can see that it has come as column 1 and column 2. However, in the Excel, it was region and manager. In this case, Power BI was not able to have the first header as the row header, right? So what we need to do in this case, and there is no join which is happening between these two tables. So if you pull an information from this table and if you pull an information from this table, you will get an entire wrong set of records which will come in, and which none of you will ever want to do it, right? So what we need to do is two things we need to correct. First, we need to fix this formula. We need to fix this, that column 1 should be replaced by the region and the manager. And the second thing is that I should establish a connection between these two tables. And how to do it? Let's go. We'll go to the transform data, and it will open the Power Query editor, which is your ultimate source of energy. Okay. Now you come to the users. Let me turn off the column quality. Okay. And you see that column 1 has come, column 2 has come. On the row 1, this is there. And Power BI is not able to understand that this row is the header row. Okay. If you remember one statement I have said earlier, do not trust every time on Power BI, because this is also a application, man-made application. It may make mistakes. And this is one instance where a Power BI can also make a mistake. Okay. And in this case, what you're supposed to do is you need to go here, use first row as header. See, region and manager has been fixed. Okay, clear. And if you can see here, the same steps has been applied. This is the source. This is the navigation, change type, promoted header, and change type again. Okay. Now, what Power BI has done, they have changed. They have thought that central is a string. They have marked it ABC. It's a string. They have marked it ABC. Okay. Now, if you go to home, close and apply, you will see some magic happening. Let me show you that magic. See, now can you see there is a relationship which is established? Now, why this relationship is established is because earlier, since the column names, the row header names were column 1 and column 2, Power BI was not able to create a relationship between these two tables. Yeah. Now, when this name is being properly done, Power BI understood, oh, it is the region, with the help of which region is the column based on which I'll be creating a join between these two tables, because region is only one column. There is no manager here. Region is the only column which is present in this table, and it is present in this table as well. Now, if you double click here, you can see my table 1 is order fact, which is this order. And there is a table 2, this table, which is a user. And there is a region column based on which the join is happening. Okay. Now, what this 1 and this star indicates? It indicates that one region, there will be one record here of region, and there will be multiple region records here. So there is one to many cardinality. Clear? One region will have multiple regions here. Now, for example, if you open the Excel, it is central, right? If you go to orders, where is region? This is the region, right? If I put a filter here, you can see so many regions are there, central, west. This is repetitive, right? So that is the reason it is one to many relationship which has come. And this is what has to be there in a star schema model. So what we are understanding is this order fact is a fact table, and this user is a dimension table. Always dimension to fact is one to many relationship. Okay. Now I go to the report view. So this is what is the modeling in a nutshell, where we create and establish a relationship. Now, what Power BI has done is that it has created the relationship of its own. What I have done is I have removed the relationship, and I would basically want to create the relationship of my own. So what I can do is that I can simply drag and drop here. See, this is from the user table. This is the region, and this is the region. Cardinality is one to many. Click on save. Okay, see, a relationship has been created. Now what happens is, many a times Power BI does a wrong relationship between the tables. So you should be very careful on what Power BI is doing, because the relationship is the only thing based on which your entire data will come correctly. If you make any mistake in this relationship, your entire data is gonna go into a toss, and you will break your entire head to find out that what is the mistake, but still you will not be able to identify. That is the reason data modeling along with the query editor is a very, very critical thing. And once someone who is new to Power BI getting into an industry will start working an engagement, this relationship or this model view is basically is not being given access, so that someone who is new to Power BI might make a mistake which shouldn't happen, and it will distract the entire process. Okay. So you should be very careful. Query editor, model view, focus on these two things. Table view, focus, and next we'll come to the report view, which is the front end now. Okay. So I'll take a quick 2 minutes of break, and we'll start again on 1.5. By that time, if you have got any question, please do let me know. I'll try to address it, because this is the last section that we will come in now, which is the front end part. If you have got any question up till now, let me open the Q&A section. Can we access today's session recording? Ronak or Harleen, any one of you can respond to that. Okay, now let me go to the chat. Quick questions that. Okay, how to find out which table is fact and which table is dimension? Very good question. Muhammad Hilal, right? So, any one thumb rule I'll give you. Okay, any table where there is a KPI calculations happening. For example, sales, profit, discount. In a table where this kind of measurable informations are there, these are fact, right? And the tables where the insights is being there. For example, this table, the user table, right? So here, the region and the manager information is there. But which manager will do which amount of sales for a particular region, that will be there in the fact table. Okay? I hope that is clear. Now, next question is Piyush Manyankar. Is SQL or Python important for Power BI? SQL is very, 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 very important. If you understand SQL, if you understand data, if you understand data modeling, it will be very easy for you to have or to work on Power BI. See, guys, understand, Power BI is just a visualization tool, but the strength lies between understanding the data. You have to understand the data. If you do not understand the data, you will not be able to create an insightful dashboard. Okay. So SQL is very important. Python is an additional very good things to have in. I mean, if you can create up some packages, and if you want to invoke those packages within your Power BI to do a kind of statistical analysis, yes, Python or anything you can do and you can incorporate, but that is not a mandate to know. But yes, SQL data modeling is very, 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 very important. Okay. Next question, as a data analyst, do we receive process data for Power BI? Do we need to clean that? Okay. That is a very good question. Now, if you are a business analyst, you will get a process data. However, if you are data analyst, you will always get an unprocessed data. The name itself says that you are a data analyst. So what you'll have to do is that you will get an unprocessed data. You will have to process it. You will have to transform it. You will have to clean it. And then you will have to load the data into a cleaned environment and create an insight layer on top of that environment and create a Power BI dashboard, or create a Click dashboard, or a Tableau dashboard, or a Looker dashboard, whatever your organization strategically works, right? So it is very important you to know that how to clean the data. And the Power BI task or the classes which we take, which goes around 1.5 months of timeline for Power BI, that we deep dive into each and every cleaning activities, and we show that how cleaning needs to be done. How can we practice DAX? Sir, very simple thing. Atharva, install Power BI, get into your system, take some random data and try to create some KPIs for yourself. The second formula which I've shown you, that order year is equals to year and taking up the order date from the table, is a DAX. This kind of basic things you'll have to practice first, and then eventually situation wise, as you fall into the situation, you will keep on learning DAX. DAX is very, very huge. It is not that you learn 15 or 20 DAX and you consider yourself to be a master on DAX. You'll have to keep practicing. Which situation you will learn and it will evolve. Okay. Next question, how do you deal with slow performing Power BI reports? Very good question. Very, very good question. Now, slow performing Power BI reports, the prime reason for slow performing Power BI reports is the schema, the kind of schema. You see here, the data modeling part here. In the beginning, I said Power BI always supports or they prefer a star schema. Now, if you give them a very heavy extended star schema or a snowflake schema, where there is a multiple relationship happening and you're building the data or you're showing the report where all the KPIs and informations are coming from the decision tree, where the relationship is very high, naturally it will come very slow, right? Second thing, if you create a denormalized table where you are getting all the info, for example, any one of you can go and ask me that why this user information I'm not able to merge in the order fact. I'll just have one table. I do not need to create two tables in this case, but that is against Power BI's best practice policy. You should always keep a star schema modeling technique so that Power BI can always perform at the optimal. So the Power BI design, the modeling that you will be doing, the data design that you will be doing, data modeling that you will be doing is very, very critical. And hence, I said SQL and data modeling is very, very important for Power BI. Okay. Next question. What are the requirements for a beginner to start with freelancing in Power BI? Join Ethans. It's a basic requirement. Join Ethans. We will teach you, we will bring you up to a scale wherein you can consider yourself to be an expert in Power BI. You do not need to be a beginner. You can consider yourself to be an expert. Yeah. What is paginated report in Power BI? Good question. Now the thing is that if a business user says that I want the header, footer, suppose for example you have created a tabular report, and in the tabular report there are numerous of data. Now they want to group the data based upon a particular segment of for example based upon a particular segment of geography. Now let us take this example of a region where for this order where I want to group the data based upon my region, how my region wise, product wise sales are happening. And the business users say that you give me a page information where the west region data is happening, you give me information where east is happening, you give me an information where central is performing and west is performing. So what I'll do is that I'll create up a paginated report with a header and footer, and I'll group this data into a particular page and I will show it to them. Okay. But having said that, paginated report is a much more capable thing that can be done. There are a lot of runtime decisions that can be taken within a paginated report. If I start talking about paginated report, trust me, it will take me 3 hours to explain. But on a nutshell, this is what if we'd want to do it. Okay. Sir, can you repeat the interview question? Okay, that's on the last stage, not now. Any more question, guys? We need to quickly. We have got very less time. Another 10 minutes probably. And what are the key differences between the Power BI desktop and the Power BI service? Okay. Okay, I will take the question from Praveen Jaising a bit later. Now let me just quickly move. I apologize for that. Guys, please understand I have got a limitation of time. Otherwise, I can spend my entire day talking to you and resolving your questions. Okay, just give me some time. Now we will quickly come to the page in the report, and we will quickly see. Okay, very good questions coming up. How do you implement row-level security in Power BI? Good. I'm happy to see these questions, Piyush. Nice. Okay, but quickly, let's understand क्या क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग. Okay. Okay. Now, if I would want to see something like region, then sales and tax. Okay. Okay, now generally what happens is whenever you create some kind of report, for example, what I have done here is that now what we are seeing is the front end. Okay, हम लोग कैसे देखेंगे front end पे. So basically what I want to see is that I want to see my sales and my tax implied based upon region. So by the time I did this, what Power BI did is that it automatically taken up this scatter chart report, but I do not want it to be shown like this. What I will do is I will create up a bar chart. Okay. Now this is a bar chart which has come in. Okay. Now beautiful bar chart. Now this bar chart says that for my region central, my sum of sales is close to 25 lakhs, and this is the tax implied is this amount 2,54,000. Okay. Now there's a region, this east, west, and south. This is what my sales is, and this is what my tax implied is. Okay, so it is quite easy. At any point of time, if you say that no, I do not want to put it like this, I rather would want to see like this, it's done. This is what my sales is, and this is what my tax implied is. Okay. Now what key important thing that you guys need to understand is, see, this is a report. Now, when I selected this section of this is called as a report information, and this section is a page information. Okay. Now, when I select this, okay. Now, the properties of a page and a properties of a report differ. Okay. Now, to do that, what we will do is, I will just quickly create up a new thing. And what I will do is, I will quickly bring in my month. What is my, not month, let me bring in my year. Year wise, if I would want to see that what are my sales. Okay. Now, if you can see, Power BI has taken up a visual activity where they have given a trend. Okay. Now, if I would want to see that along with this, if I would want to see that what is the discount applied. So now this scale is basically quite high. And because of that, what has happened is my scale is not coming correctly. So what I can do is that I can always take up a dual axis chart where my sum of sales and sum of my discount values are very, very less, and hence it is showing up a flat value. Or in fact, there is no discount applied to it. So that is the reason it is not showing up any value. Okay. Now, if I go here and okay. Now, what I was trying to tell you is this is the report visual and this is a page visual. Okay. In the report visual, if I go here, these are my different formats which are there in the visuals. Okay. Now this is what my x-axis is. My x-axis is this one. Now, if I would want to have inverted range, it will take up inverted range. What is my minimum range? What is my maximum range, right? Now, if I have a title, sum of the sales, I want to change it to be only sum of sales. So my title will get changed. See, you can see here my title has got changed. What is my text color? I say that, okay, my text color is purple. So it has changed to purple. So these are quite self-explanatory. Okay. And you can deep dive into each and every sections of this, and you can find out that what are the options which is there and how it is going to imply. Now see, this is what my y-axis is and this is what my x-axis is. If I go to values of y-axis, if you can see that my business says that change the color to this color. Okay, you can see that this color has changed. Now view decimal places, 2 decimals. If you want to see, you can see here 2 decimal places, or you can have it 0 decimal places, right? If you come to the legends, if you say that I do not want these legends to be there, so you can turn off the legends and these legends will go. So every possible variants that can be used for a formatting is there once when you select it. For example, you have to select this report and then these visual properties will come in. Okay. Now, there is a difference between the report visual format and a page visual format. Now, for example, this is one set of my report. Now, this I have clicked outside of this report and here are the properties which has come in. Now, for example, if I change my canvas background to yellow, okay. Or if I would want to add up, I do not have an image now handy with me, otherwise I would have added up an image. So you can change the canvas setting. You can change the canvas setting to this. So you can make it letter. You can make it 4:3 or any size. Now this size is very, very important, guys. Please understand one thing. Okay. This 16:9 ratio is something which fits in any kind of laptop screens that you work in. Now the entire world has moved down to laptop. Now people have not stopped using desktop. Now this feature is very, very important because with 16:9, the screen automatically gets adjusted when you are viewing it, but it will not get adjusted while you are creating up a mobile dashboard design. Okay, it is specifically for laptops and desktop. Now, if you have this, Power BI will automatically take up your screen size and will ensure that scrolling is not happening. Clear? So, page information says this is the name of the page too. I can tell that this is like formatting pages. Okay, I can rename it. Uh, Wallpaper, if you have got any wallpapers in the background, you can always do it. Okay, so my wallpaper has changed. I basically love this color, that's the reason I keep on taking this color. Now there is a filter pane. Now on the right hand side that you see is the filter pane. Okay, and this filter pane is very, very important. All the properties that you see here is for the filter pane. Now if I want to put up a background for my filter plane as blue, my background will change any color that you want to that you want to give. Okay, now we will quickly touch base a bit on the filters. See, at any point of time, if my business says that I want to restrict this information only for the year 2012 and 2013. So how do I do? This is a report level filter which has come up. From here, I can go and I can do a basics filtering where I can select only 2012 and 2013. Okay. Now you can see that I'm restricting the data only for the year 2012 and 2013. Okay. Guys, is this clear? Now this formatting is quite a bit of subjective thing. Okay. You guys need to explore it a bit and try to find out that which formats will work. But yes, on a detailed level classes, when we join in, we go through each and every visual properties, general properties, page level properties, or a screen level properties, and we teach the students on this. Okay, now we will quickly move on to an interesting chart. Okay, I'll take up a new one, and what I will do is that I will take up a map. I'll show you some maps. Okay, now what I will do is, let me drag city, the location. My security is disabled. Guys, I have got a bit of security issue with my laptop. That is the reason I am not able to map the city along with the global maps, and unfortunately I cannot change the security, global security of the files. There is a restriction to it. Now on a high level, what I'll tell you is that now if these maps, once when you bring in, if you bring in the city as a location, okay, and there is something which is saying as a bubble size. In this bubble size, if you bring in the discount from the orders or from the total sales in the bubble size, what will happen is, it will on the map, it will give you the bubble sizes where the discounts or the sales, wherever there is high, the bubble size would be higher. Wherever there is low, the bubble size would be lower. Okay, and you can also add up a tooltip here. What does tooltip say is that along with my sales, what is my profit? So if I, whenever I hover my mouse on that bubble, what it will happen is, it will basically take me to the bubble and it will show me that what are my total sales and what are my total discounts associated for that particular city for that particular order. Okay, I apologize for this. Because of this setting, I will not be able to change it, but yes, this is how the bubble chart works. Okay, now a key important thing that we need to understand is a hierarchy. Okay, let me just quickly show you a file. Just give me a moment to explain a bit of hierarchy to you guys. Okay. So what is hierarchy? Hierarchy is basically creating a sort of drilling activities. Okay. Now there was someone who said that who asked me a question on the top that is it good to load entire details on one page, or it is something that we should be having a different multiple pages. The idea is to have a different multiple pages, but at the same point of time in one page you can also create a hierarchy of your own, and you can basically drill down within that chart itself. For example, what is a hierarchy? Now, if we consider parent as a continent, which is Asia as a continent, and these are the different countries which are there within Asia as a continent. So the continent Asia is the parent hierarchy, and the child hierarchy is China, India, Singapore. For Europe, it is Italy, France, and Germany. Like for example, another example is for a furniture, it is the child hierarchy would be bookcase, chair, and table. And now a very simple example for which you can probably relate is a 3 BHK flat. And what are the child components to it? Is a 3 bedroom, one living room. Please excuse my spelling. There'll be living room and one kitchen. Okay. Now, how this year hierarchy forms in? It's basically year, quarter, month, and day. That means on a high level, you will be seeing year. On the low level, you'll be seeing quarter. On the next level, you'll be seeing month. On the end level, you'll be seeing day. So this is how the hierarchy has been created now on Power BI. If you can see uh, order date, right? If you can see here, this hierarchy is already been created. Now, hierarchy always happens based upon the data which is being created at the database. Now, if the database does not have a hierarchy, it is very difficult to establish a hierarchical relationship. So it is very important that while you exhibit the data or while you see the data, the hierarchy should be created on the data. Everyone, this is also an interview question. Please understand it, very important. Okay. At interview, people might ask you that is it wise to create a hierarchy at the front end? Your answer should be it is always advised to create a hierarchy at the back end. The data has to have an hierarchy. Now, for example, this example which I have shown, if year, quarter, month, and day hierarchy is not there in the data, will you be able to create a hierarchy on the front end? You will never be able to create that. Okay. For example, if the quarter is not there, for example, if year and month is there, will you be able to create that? No, you will not be able to create that. And if the data comes in this format with a date here, now for example, if there is a date here, okay, if there is a date and you have got year, you do not have a quarter. Now, for example, this is deleted. You have got month and day. Now, will you be able to create a hierarchy? Yes, you will be able to create a hierarchy. How will you create a hierarchy? You will go to the query editor. From the date, you can find out year. From the date, you can populate quarter. Okay. And that's how you create a hierarchy. Okay. Clear? Now, let's go back to Power BI dashboard and let's pull in date hierarchy and let's see how is my sales happening with particular date. Okay. Okay. Now, there is something interesting you will see. Let me convert this to a bar chart. Okay. Now, the interesting part is at any point of time, if someone says that, okay, students, great, you have shown me a year-wise sales data. Yeah, Suraj, I'll come to you. Please document the question. I'll come to you. If at any point of time, if the business user says that, yes, it is very good that you have shown me a yearly data, but can you give me a flexibility wherein you can have a quarter, month, and day level information also in the same chart? Yes, we can always do. And that is how we attain the drill down feature. Now, for example, for 2013, if I basically want to drill down, this is the quarter. Now for the year 2020, if you hover this mouse here, you will see that for the year 2013, for quarter one, this is the sum of sales. Now, your business says that why quarter two seems to be down. I want to drill down and see that in which month of this quarter the sale was down. I can go to drill down. April, May, and June. Now I can see that April was the month. Okay, April was the month which is the pain giver to me. Now, if I want to see more drill down and see that in which days of April the real pain area was, what I will do, I will drill down further. I will see on 5th, on 30th, 17th, these are the dates where the sale was really very bad. Okay. So this is how you can drill down. Now you can drill up. Okay, I have seen this. Now I want to go back to the year level data. So I come up to the year level data. Rather than doing a right click, you can also enable this file, and there is a double arrow. You can just click down. You can select and you can click down November, and this is how you're supposed to see it. Okay. So this is a drill down or hierarchical features that you can create. There is a process also to create our own hierarchy. Time is very less. We will not be able to permit you to show that now. Otherwise, I would have touched base to it. One quick thing that I would want to show is okay. Let me just quickly show the key influencers. Okay. Something which can be a bit of interesting thing for all of you. And let me just quickly see what is the canvas size. It is 16:9. Okay, that is perfect. Okay, now let me bring this key influencer chart. Okay, see, this key influencer is something which is an AI powered chart which is given by Power BI. It brings in the machine learning, and also it is AI featured by Power BI. Okay. Now, what do I want to see? I want to analyze my sales data. Okay. And I basically want to see my sales based upon my shipping cost. Where is my shipping cost? Based upon my shipping cost. Okay. And based upon my product category. Okay. And based upon my discounts and city. Can you see this chart, guys? Okay, now what we are doing is we are basically enabling the power of machine learning and AI, which is being given by Power BI. Okay. Now, how this is important and how this is crucial is you can see what are my influencers. If what influences my sales increases. So these are the parameters which says my sales will increase if the sum of my shipping cost is more than 19.95. Clear? Now, if I just click here and if I see what will decrease my sales, how my sales will be decreasing is if the product category is office supplies and if the average sale is decreased by 1.4%, then I will see that my sales are decreasing. Where my shipping cost is 2.4 and my shipping cost is less than 964. Now, these are the key influencers which will drive my business. Now, what are my top segments? If I go here, I will see my segment 1 is this. Okay, this is what is my segment 1. The product category is office supplies. If I make which drives my sales higher, if I click here, what is my segment 1? the product category, my sales will drive really higher if my product category is not office supplier. And my sale will drive really high if the product cost is greater than 19.95. What you're doing to Power BI, you are telling Power BI that I am giving you a set of KPIs, a set of dimensions and measures. You give me an influencer that using these KPIs, which segment can be grow higher and which segment can grow lower, right? And you have seen this is the Power BI's AI and machine learning model, which have understood these dimensions and they have created an influencers and the talk segment analysis for you. And based on which you can always go back to business and give these insights to them. And not necessarily you. Business at any point of time can use these measures or dimensions and they can create their own influencers. Okay. One last thing that I wanted to show you is what if analysis. That is also a very powerful tool. Okay. For that, what we'll do is that we'll create up a new parameter. Okay. And I will name my parameter as what if analysis. Okay. What if analysis is basically if I increase my sales by 1 point or 1% or 2% or 3%, how much profit I'm going to get. This is a very, very important thing which most of the people does, right? So basically where I'm setting my minimum value is 0 and my maximum value is 20, and I would be incrementing my value by 1. That means I'll be incrementing by 1 and I'll see that how my profit and sales is getting impacted. Okay. Now, if I click on create, you will see a slicer has come up. Okay. Where you can increment this value by 1. Okay. And here you will see there is a what if analysis which is coming. There's a new folder which has formed. What we will do is that we'll quickly create 2 DAX measures for it. Okay. And I will do a right click and a new measure segment will come, and just give me a moment. We'll create one formula, and the formula is we'll create a net profit. Okay. What we are doing is we are doing a sum of orders profit minus sum of orders profit multiplied by what if discount value is 0.05. Okay, what we will do is fact, we'll change it. We'll change this to orders fact. Okay. Now, if you see, change it to water analysis. Okay. What if discount? What is discount value? Just give me a moment. I'll rename this, okay? Guys, how much time is left? 38, right? Okay, let me do one thing. What's the issue? Just make sure. Just 1 second. Bear with me for a second, guys. Okay, till that time, till this is coming up, can we start addressing questions? We just have got very less time now. How do we create relationship between the tables that I've already explained? How do we implement row level security in Power BI? In Power BI, row level security can be implemented with the help of a service account. Okay, or you can create or you can enable the row level security with the help of AD groups, Windows AD groups. So whatever AD groups was there, whatever AD group is being created, your Power BI credentials will be addressed with the help of the AD groups or with the help of service account. Now, for example, if a service account is being created where where the region is restricted for that particular service account, you are restricting the row level informations with the help of the service account. Okay, clear? How do we create a relationship is already done. What is the difference between Power BI, Tableau, Excel, and SQL? There is no difference between Power BI, Tableau, Excel, and SQL because all of them are the same thing. But the only thing is that these are all different visualization tools, and each has got their own features. And while you create the power of the visualization, Power BI exhibits with a star schema model. They prefer to be a star schema dimensional model. Tableau prefers to be a denormalized model. Excel is always there. SQL is not a visualization tool. SQL is the medium by which you query the databases, extract the information, right? What are the security features in Power BI? Row level security, column level security, entire data set level security, every kind of security that you can fill in, you can achieve either with the help of a service account or with the help of an AD group, or you can create the securities at your databases, and that securities can be incorporated here in Power BI. What is the key differences between Power BI desktop and Power BI service? Power BI desktop is a desktop application where you install and you develop the dashboards. Power BI services is the place where you host the dashboard. Okay, so the dashboard which I have created here, if I would want to host it, how do I host it? So it is basically the Power BI services. I will show you that. Just give me a moment. Rest, I do not see any question. Sir, can you repeat the interview questions? Okay, the interview questions were: what is the difference between mQuery? What is the difference between DAX? Now, how Power Query, data view, model view, and report view differs. Uh, can we have a row level data information created by a Power Query? Also, it will say that can we create up AI or machine level informations within the Power BI? We have seen that the influencer chart that we have seen. Can we create a what if analysis in Power BI? Yes, we can create now. If you can see, this is a what if discount which is there. Now, this is the new sales discount. And if I take up the sales part, this is my sales. Okay, this is one chart, and if I would want to see it, what I'm doing now is basically what if analysis, and I will see based upon year. Okay, now I have pulled in the year. So what I can see is just give me a moment. I will just quickly put this into a bar chart where I have got my sales, new sales, and the sum of sales. Okay, if I would basically want to bring in another chart where I am taking okay, sales profit. Not this two is not required. I will take up my sales profit. I will take up my profit, and I will take up my year. So I'll create this chart. I will put it into a vertical stack chart. Bring it here. Okay. Now, if I go to modeling, parameters, numeric range, wait. Okay. Now, if you can see, these there is an incremental discount which has come up. Now we have created a what if discount. Now there is a new sales value and there is a sum of sales value. Now what it is telling that if I increase my discount by 4 points or by 4 percentages, how my new sales value and my old sales value will differ. Here, if you can see, my new sales value and my old sales value will not differ, or nor my profit is going to get different, because the data which is there in the back end, if you see look at the Excel file, the data which is there on the back end, where there is no indicative range where the discount values are directly proportional to the sales values. Now in the backend or in the databases, if there are established relationships where you can find out where the discount and the sales hold a proportion, at that point of time, if you increment any kind of values here, for example, if you are incrementing the 6.6% of discount, how my new sales value and my old sales value will differ, that you can very well see here. Okay. So this was on a nutshell on a what if. There are many things to be discussed, but I'm sorry, we end up on a time. So Ronak and Herlin, though I wanted to discuss many more things, but I couldn't, because I believe that we have already overshooted our time. And with this, what I would want to say is that we have got an ample of opportunities to learn Power BI at a very detailed level. And if you are interested, please contact Ethans. So that's how I basically rest my case, and I hand it over to Ronak, Himanshu, and Herlin. If you can just take it forward. And any
Sure, sir.
questions and answer, if it is there, I'm there to take care of it.
Okay. I guess hope the session is very interactive and very useful for everyone, right? So guys, I'm sending a link for the form so we can send the recordings and participant certificate so we can issue to your email. So just fill the form. I have dropped you in chat and I have pinged it.
One last question that I see is, can I connect the Tally software to Power BI? No. What you can do is that you can dump the data of the Tally software to any of the databases, be it an on-prem or be it cloud, and then you can connect the on-prem or the cloud services to your Power BI to showcase the data. Okay. I do not really see any more questions Q&A, both in the Q&A section or in the chat section. I think I have addressed all the questions which is being raised. Any more question, guys, or we are good? Ronak, anything that you want to take up?
No, sir. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you so much for the very interactive and very session for this time.
All of you are
I hope that everyone has enjoyed the session.
Perfect then. Thank you all.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.